This AI agent can schedule all your social media posts. Just say, schedule all my posts over the next 30 days, one per day at 1 to 3 p.m. and your AI agent does the rest. Getting an AI agent to do this sounds simple, but here is the problem. I couldn't do it on the AI agent platform I've built it on, called n8n, because I have no technical background. So I found two shortcuts that make it way easier, especially for non-programmers. Without them, it probably wouldn't have worked at all. So today we're going to build this AI agent that can schedule social media posts step by step, even if you've never built one before or gave up trying. If you want to skip the setup and get this AI agent running instantly, you can import the exact template I've built. It's available inside my AI automations and template subscription, where you can get ready to use blueprints and workflows like this. You find all the links to the resources mentioned in this video below in the description of this video. You'd think that setting up an AI agent like this in n8n is simple, but here's the problem. Just setting up a basic workflow like this can feel like an overwhelming mess, especially if you're not a developer. Because it's not just about connecting those different modules here, but there are also settings that you need to get right. Otherwise, you're going to waste hours and your AI agent is not going to work. But I figured out the exact sequence of steps that actually works and the exact settings to get it to work. And I'll show you how to set it up without getting lost in all these configurations. The first thing you need is to create a free account on n8n, which is the platform we're going to use to build the AI agent's workflow on. And you can get started for free. And then you have like a free trial that you have 2 weeks to try it out. And then you can continue once you find your AI agent system or other workflows useful. Click on Get Started, fill out this information, and then click Try for free. Then you will be directed to this overview here. This is the dashboard you have, and then here you click on Create a Workflow. The entire AI agent that we're going to use will work inside Telegram. It's a messaging app you can use on your phone and on your computer. And if you don't already have it installed, then make sure to download it first for your phone and then also for your computer, because we are going to use it for our computer to modify some of the settings and to integrate it with our workflow. And I've already installed it, so I can already open Telegram app. And we are also going to add a trigger. So that's how the workflow starts. It's a trigger. We're going to need a Telegram trigger called onMessage. So once it receives a message, it will trigger. Now, if you don't already have an account connected, you click on Create a New Credential. And then we need to enter the access token. We get this from Telegram. And then in Telegram, you need to search for Botfather. And there you need to select the first one here. This is the correct one. And here you just click on Create, click on Start. And then it will give you your settings. This is where you manage your Telegram apps or bots that we're going to build. And here you need to click on Create a New Bot. Then we need to give it a name. I call it AI Agent, AI Agent Social Scheduler. We're going to build it for scheduling a post, YouTube demo. This is just an invite. Then you will want to copy that, because in the next we need to name the bot. So we just attach bot at the end here. And now we get the access token, and this is what we need. We're gonna just click on it, and then you go back here and you paste it in here, and then you click on Save. And once it's turned green, then it's connected. Then we can already go back, and this is now the first trigger, the first element of our workflow, and it's already connected. So we could already test it. So click on Test the Workflow, and then here you click on that, and then it's opened your bot. So then click on Start. And see, it says work successfully, and we can open it whenever you click on it. Then you see, okay, what has happened here? It has gotten the text start. So this is good. There are two ways we can communicate with our AI agent. We can use text or we can use voice like this. Just hit record. And to use both ways to communicate as commands, we need to set up a process that allows us to do this. So we need to add what they say is a switch. So we can have different, here we need different ways. So first it's going to be our text message here. We need to rename it to text. And then we have the second routing rule. This also exists, and here this will be voice. So here we need to first record a message, or it can already be, so we need to going to, this is a test. No, it's not going to transcribe the message yet because we need to do this first. And here we need to go to, so let's go back. Now it has triggered the voice. And here we need to drag in the field file ID from the recorded voice message. Now let's go back. Let's click save. Now we will save the text in a field because we will later use that as an input for our AI agent. We call this text, and the value will just be the output from that. So test the workflow. And then it should be able to be available here. We drag this in. Before we can use or transcribe the voice message, we need to get a file. So we need to get the file, the voice file from Telegram. You just type in, so this is how this works. You just type in the module you want, and then you can select it from the dropdown. Now here we need to be clear, so we just added Telegram account number 11, and we're going to need to select that also here. So that's really important. If you have several Telegram accounts, connect the right one. And here we need file ID. To get the file ID, we need to first do a test run again. Okay, so here, before we can do the test run, we need to enter something here. And then, hello. Let's try again. Hello. Now it worked. And now we can match the file ID here. Perfect. And the final step, we need to transcribe the audio so we can use it as an input command for the AI agent module, which will come next. And we're going to use OpenAI transcription module, transcriber recording. Here you need to connect your OpenAI account. So we will click on create a new credential here if you don't already have it connected. And then you go to platform openai.com. By the way, you can get access to this sheet with all the links and resources below this video. And you go to platform.openai.com. If you don't already have an account, you can set up one for free. You can sign up with the same information that you have, or username and password that you have for ChatGPT, I think. And then you go to settings and you go to billing. You will add a little bit, like $5 at least, but it doesn't cost much to use it as a transcription service. So then you go to API keys. Then you click on create a new key. Just gonna call it AI agent demo YouTube. It doesn't matter what the name is. Then I need to select the project, create a secret key. Now you don't want to share this with anyone. And then you paste it in here and you click on save. I can even give it a name, YouTube demo, so I know it later what I have to delete again. And then this is connected. The input field is data, so this looks good. Let's click test workflow. Hello, this is a test message. Now it's working. And now it should already be transcribing. Yes, you see here. Great. So finally, we can add AI agent module. Let's go back first. And we're going to drag it over here and also use this as input. So now we have text message and voice message to command our AI agent. So we are about to set up the AI agent, but here's the problem that most beginners miss, and that's why they struggle to get the AI agent to work properly, because they don't have the right system message. Because the system message is where you specify what the AI agent should do, what functions it has, what rules it needs to follow to give you the exact output or workflow you want. And I spent like a few hours testing and tweaking it. And this is what I came up with. Because my AI agent, right, needs to schedule social media posts. And it was, here we switched this to expressions. And there, I will just give you a quick overview of how it works. So first I define access and abilities. So I will later add the Google Sheet tool. So it has the feature to read and manage my Google Sheet, where I will store all the posts that need to be scheduled. I will give it, okay, what is your task that it needs to complete? And how should it complete the task? And what should it do? I even specify, okay, what the time now is. So it knows exactly this is the time, because for scheduling posts, it's really important to have a reference time, which is the correct time in the time zone, right? And then I need to specify, because I figured out that the AI agent can only like perform 10 operations in one cycle. And I had to limit, therefore, the number of posts it can schedule in one batch. So in this case, I found, okay, it can schedule 7 posts, and then it will ask me, should it continue? And then it will schedule the next 7. And that's how it avoids getting errors and issues. So that is why I have this here, which is really important. But if you would miss this, right, you would get errors in your workflow and don't know why, because every setting is set up correctly. But if you don't have the right system message, then it's really hard to get it to work properly. So that's really important. And so let's go back. Here we need to make another small change. We need to go to define below. And here we just drag the text in here. So that's the first step of setting up an AI agent, like setting up the proper system message. And then we have here 3 other features. One, we have a chat node or a chat model. This is where we add basically the AI agent brain, like the AI functionality. We can select any chat model we want. You can select Anthropic, but we can also select OpenAI. We already connected the OpenAI account, so we can just use that. We can just use GPT-4o. Where do we have it here? GPT-4o here. That's all we need to do. Then we have memory and we have tool. Now let's add a memory, because otherwise the AI agent will not memorize or remember all the previous conversations it has. And it's hard to get it to reference your previous chat, which sometimes comes in handy, so that it knows it has already scheduled 7 posts and needs to schedule the next one. And that's why we will add a memory here. And the easiest is this one. And here, the context window link. So you can choose anything you want. I found 20 works well for me. 20 interactions it should remember. And here I need to click define below. And there comes the key. Basically, this is the session ID or the chat ID. Now, to get this to run, we need to click on test workflow. And I can even say, hello, this is a test. How are you? Now it's transcribing it. Now here, obviously, we get the error, but there we need to switch to Telegram trigger. And there we have chat ID. And this is what we need to drag in here. Now, first I thought scheduling posts inside this n8n workflow and platform using my AI agent would be easy. So I could just add the social media platforms and then tell the AI agent, hey, publish this post in this time and that post during that time. But it turns out, even when asking ChatGPT, it gave me a solution that was way too complicated for me. So I had to find a simpler solution. And I did. And the solution is to add a Google Sheet. So I have a Google Sheet, basically, that contains all my posts, the post text and the images and the platforms that it should be published towards. And then my AI agent should just read this Google Sheet and schedule each post on the time I want them to. And then it's going to be connected to the social media platform, which we'll do in the next step. And then it's all perfect. Now, first, before we go on to add this Google Sheet tool, I need to mention whenever you need a new tool, whenever you add a new tool to AI agent, you would need to update your system message. You would need to tell it, hey, now you have access to your Google Sheet tool. Now you have access to the Google Calendar. Now you have access to whatever tool you add. And then you specify what is the new tool it has, what can it do with the tool, how should it use the tool, what is the rule it needs to follow when using the tool. So we update the system message and then you go back there. Now we need a Google Sheet, obviously, with posts that contains posts. So here is a template, because you can't just use any Google Sheet. I prepared a really special one for you that you can get here. And here you click on make a copy. Now this Google Sheet is not just a normal Google Sheet, because it has a special feature that no normal Google Sheet has. And I've built it into that, because normally a Google Sheet can't do much, right? You can write data, make a few calculations, use a few of the standard formulas you get, but that's it. But I've customized it. You see here, it has even a new menu that I've built into it. And I will show you in a minute how I did it, because I'm not a programmer, but I still managed to do it. And that makes it really powerful, because this Google Sheet actually here is when our AI agent will write the schedule times. And then the Google Sheet, it will monitor that and send those posts to our social media platforms at the scheduled times. So this is what it can do. And before we can use it, you need to click on Authorize Script, and I will show you in a minute what the script is, or where is this thing, right, that make this Google Sheet so powerful. First, we need to authorize it. You need to click on Allow to install it. And then we need to click on Install Automation or Sheet. Then, great, it has worked. And now first, well, we need a few posts here. So if you already have a few created, you can copy and paste them here. Make sure to give it a post ID, a post text, and an image URL, and specify the platforms to publish them to. If you haven't generated that yet, you can just grab this AI agent that I've built in the other video. You can just watch the video and build it from scratch. That helps you to build an AI agent that can generate and publish posts for you, or you can grab the ready-to-made workflow that you can directly import into your account. In my AI automations and agent subscription, where you find the template for that, and then you have the same AI agent, a similar AI agent, which you can command with Telegram to generate posts for you and publish them to any social media platforms. Now, and then I will just grab a few of my posts here that I've already generated here, and then I will just copy and paste them in here. Here you go to extensions, and there you see app scripts. That's basically where the magic happens. And this is the code that makes this Google Sheet special and unique and so powerful. And it took me like 4 to 5 hours to generate it with ChatGPT, but now it's finally working. Now what I need to go here, I will explain it later, a few steps, how this actually works. Because first, what I need to do, so now we need to grab our sheet ID here, and then we need to paste it in a few of these spots here. Here we have it, then we have it also sheet ID. You can even search for it. Sheet ID, here is one more spot. And then we click on Save. Now we go back to our workflow and we go to the Google Sheets module here. Now we need to connect your Google Sheets account. So if you don't have one connected, you click on here and then click on Sign in with Google. And when you click on it, make sure to sign in with the same account that you have this Google Sheet in. This is really important. And so I've already done this. It's that account. And you will see that because here, this is my, like I could rename it, right? So I could give it a name. I would say YouTube template scheduler, and then it should load it. So I need to go close it again, open it again, then select it again. And then now it's this one. And here we need to select generate posts, and we don't need to do anything else here. So the only thing we will do here is we will specify what it does. Read sheet, basically. And then let's go back and we need to add another one. Now we needed to write the scheduled times for us into the sheet. So we need another Google Sheet tool. Now make sure to select the same account that you have this Google Sheet in, because now we need to select it again. And now we need to select append or update row. Select the sheet we need, generate a post. Now we need the column to match it on, so the post ID, this is how it should identify our post. That's why we have the post ID, so you can clearly identify, okay, which post should be scheduled and can go through the list. And now here we need to put in the placeholder. So we need some sort of information to tell the AI agent what is this column, right? So when I've already prepared this in my sheet here, because here when I switch it on, here you see first comes what is the field name, like what is this name? Okay, this is a post ID, and then we explain it to the AI agent. What is it? This is the ID of the post. Now, the ID comes from my other AI agent, which will generate the post, and it gives each one a unique ID. And then we have post text, so it doesn't need to do any of that because our AI agent only needs to schedule the post. So it just needs to find the post ID and then give it the scheduling time. So it needs to give the scheduled time, and it needs to give it the status. So it needs to put in the status scheduled. So here for the scheduled time, I've already prepared the value that we put in here. So we need to tell it, okay, what is that scheduled time? What is that? What does it mean? Scheduled time, so we define this variable. This is, let's make it larger. This is the date for when the post was scheduled to be published. Make sure to use the exact time based on the current time, which we've specified in the system message, right? So let's go back here. So it knows what that is, and status. Now, what is the status? Well, this is basically what we have here. Once it has entered the schedule time, it should basically mark it as scheduled. So we know, okay, what's the current status of it? And it knows it also. So it knows already, okay, which posts have already been scheduled. So if I tell it, hey, schedule the next 7 or 10 posts that haven't been scheduled yet, it knows in the list, okay, which have not been scheduled yet. So it looks at the status, and then it can correctly identify those that need to be published next or scheduled next. So here the status comes in as a variable here that we define status. This is the status for the post either scheduled or published. So it can basically access this information now. We need to specify this update sheet, right? That's it. Click save. Now, before we can make an actual test, we will need to add a Telegram, a response message. So it should send a text message. Select the same account. It was 11 here. And here we need then the chat ID and the text message. So let's enter something in there before we can match it. So let's do a test first. Now the AI agent will give me the output. So here I can map the fields. So what I need to map first is the output. So the message we get back is just what the AI agent tells us. And the chat ID is important. So it replies in the same chat. We go to Telegram trigger. We find the chat ID. It's actually this one. And then we receive the message back in the same chat window. So if I would ask it again now, hey, what can you do? Which features or functions can you perform for me? It should give me an answer here, back in a few seconds. You see here, it basically tries to understand the system message it has and all the stuff it has access to. And now I can even ask it, okay, what posts do I have in my sheet that haven't been scheduled yet? So it will read the posts, and then it will form the response message for me. And it will give me a list of all the posts in my sheet. Now let's do a test to see if it can schedule the first post. So we know that it works. So let's click on test workflow, and then I will tell it, schedule the first post in the sheet to be due in 5 minutes. Let's see what it responds. So now it reads the post, now it goes into the update sheets, and then it will give me a response. The post was due in 5 minutes, so now it's 10:20. So it was scheduled for 10:25. And then when I go in here, it says scheduled. Now the cool part happens. Now the app script code, so the Google Sheet, will recognize, oh, a new date was added. A new post is due to be scheduled. But how do we actually get our scheduled posts to be published on these social media platforms at the specific times? First, I thought I could do this in n8n. Well, I could just add the different social media platforms here. But the more I looked it up how to do this, the more I realized how complicated this is for me. Instead, I found a simpler solution using make.com where I could directly connect those different social media platforms in a much simpler way. So you can sign up for a free account here and then basically build something like this, or watch the last video where I showed you exactly how to build this publishing process that we're going to use here. Basically here we send the information to this webhook. So we send the information from this Google Sheet to this automated process that's going to publish our post to those different platforms. So I'm just going to walk you quickly through how to set this up so you can get the template also in my AI automation and agents template subscription to directly import this into your account. Now, the first thing we need to do, we need to go in here to the webhook. We need to click on redetermine data structure, and then we need to copy address to clipboard. So first, we need to find the webhook section in the AI, in the app script code. So just if you don't have access to it, if you closed it, you go to app scripts and you open it, and then you search for webhook. Webhook. There's only one placeholder that we need to replace with the webhook we just copied. And then let's go back to our automation here. Actually, we don't need to do this here. This is already set up perfectly. Then you need to connect your different social media accounts here. I'm not going to show this because you can watch the other video or get my automation template, which includes a setup tutorial. The only thing left for me to do is here to add the corresponding sheet ID of my Google Sheet. So here I just grab this. So this sheet, this basically what this automation does, it writes the publishing time. Then I need to select the sheet name loaded, select it. And here we want to just save the published date. So once it has been processed, I need this formula here, which writes the current date into that. Then we just need to, we can actually delete those and just use this duplicating process, clone. Now, the final thing I need to set up in this automation is here in the last module, I need to insert a webhook from n8n. So basically, this automation then, after the post was published, first it saves the publishing date to the sheet, so to this sheet, so I know it's been published. And then it also sends back the information to my AI agent, to my Telegram, that, okay, the post was published to this platform. And to do this, I need to add a webhook here. So I need to go to add node, and then I go to webhook. And then this needs to be post. And then I select this webhook, paste it in here. I don't need to change anything in here. So basically this is just what it sends back to the webhook. This is already preloaded in my template here. Just replace all of these with the actual webhook. And then also that, click save. Then I need to go back in here. I need to add another Telegram message reply, like send a message, send a text message, select the same account. And now here, what we need to tag the chat ID. So what we need is the chat ID. And how do we get this? Well, first we need to save the chat ID. The workaround I found, I need to just save the chat ID here in this Google Sheet first. And then I will send it with the webhook. And this is what my app script already does. So it's already sends the chat ID from this Google Sheet that was saved here back to this. So it sends it through here and then it sends it back. And then the webhook will receive it and I can put it in here. So basically, now how do we get the chat ID here in this sheet? That is very simple. I just add an extra sheet here. Google Sheets. Here I need update row in a sheet. I need the correct Google Sheet here, so I need to choose the one. And then from the list, I need to go to settings. Okay, not this one, but I want to select it here. And then it should match on the row number. And the row number to match is 2. So this is row number 2, as you see here. And this is where it should write this information. So here I can go to Telegram trigger, and then I find the chat ID and drag it over here. Now, before we can map this information here, we need to switch this to test. We need to grab this URL, and then we need to plug it in. We need to just use it in one. So plug it in here. This is the Webhook test. So this is like the test Webhook, right? That was set here, good. Then we need to click save. Let's put it already in the start mode. And then we need to schedule our next post. So let's just do that. Schedule the next post due in 3 minutes. Test workflow. Then it should find the next post on the list and schedule it. Okay, so it scheduled the next post at 10:50. That's perfect. So this is the next post that's going to be published. Let's just change the publishing to Instagram because we only need to test it for one branch, because I know the other branch is already set up perfectly. So now it's done this. Now before we continue, we need to go to this webhook and we need to click on listening mode. And now we need to wait like 2 minutes. Now you see the publishing process has started. A scheduled post was sent from the Google Sheet to this publishing process, and it's scheduled for Instagram, as you see here, because this is what the AI agent that I used to generate it has defined for me, and I told it to be published towards. Now we go back, it has worked, and you see now the event has arrived. So now we can go back here, and now we can map the fields. So first we need the chat ID, so we get the response message back in the same chat, Telegram chat, and we have it here. And now we have like the text it should send to us. I've already prepared this. So this is the stuff I want to know from my post. I want to switch it to fixed expression. First, I want to know, well, what is the post that was published, like the post ID? Then what platforms was it published to? Okay, it was this. And what time was it published? So this is now the response message that I will receive back. Now, what I need to do, I can switch this to active. Okay, make sure to put in the proper webhook that we've already entered before. Here, it's that production webhook. We're going to post it back into this test webhook. We're going to replace this. Okay, save. Now what I will do, well, I can already switch it to active. Save. Well, save it. And then I can go back. Now it's switched on. So this publishing process is turned on. This already now works. Now let's schedule the next post. Let's also make sure it's like, let's pick another platform. Maybe let's pick Facebook. Now I'll do the final test on my phone. So I will just go to my Telegram account now to find my AI agent. I will just go to the bot file, and then I click on the AI agent social media. Then I click on start. Now we have to wait to receive the welcome message. Okay, now we can begin. So I will just tell it, schedule the next post to be due in 3 minutes. Okay, this worked. The post was scheduled to be published at 11:08 a.m. So it's about 3 minutes from now. Now I will resume the video once I receive the confirm message. And now I can see the post was successfully published to Facebook. Now let's go into that. Let's go to my screen again. Let's go to my Facebook account, my Facebook page that I've set up for that, and see if the post was published. And there on my Facebook page, you can see this is the post that was published. And I can see here that is the exact post. Now, if I have several posts on my list, now let's say you've used the AI agent, the other one, to generate all the posts for you, maybe to generate 30 or more posts, and I can just tell it, hey, schedule the remaining posts that have not been scheduled yet to be scheduled over the next few days, 1 day apart, at the random times between 1 to 3 p.m. And now I see the remaining posts have been published 1 day apart at specific times. So this is really amazing. If you have like 30 posts, then you want to be published on over a certain period of time, and you just tell the AI agent to do the scheduling for you. and then your scheduling even of 30 posts is done in a second. If you want a full AI agent that can also generate posts for you and publish them on demand, make sure to check out my last video where I show you exactly how I built this from scratch. Or grab my AI automation and agent subscription and directly install them into your accounts. If you want to see more videos like this on how I built these AI-powered systems without having any programming skills, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my next videos.